My husband said, maybe we should go in. I said, forget about it. You don't have any, don't forget. But I remember seeing people going in. I thought that was another thing that was interesting. I thought I'm telling you this. I don't know if you guys know about it, but I'm just telling you. I thought you know, Christians know everything.
Yeah,
but I know a lot. That I know.
That was in 2000.
But the Jewish religion, so I'm all right. I'm fine. Not too bad. So that's it.
Do you ever go speak at Hebrew schools?
Not really. I think this is my fourth speak now. My husband was the speaker. Yeah, I didn't. No, I guess, you know, probably nobody knows. Some of nobody knows that. Oh, don't worry about it. That CBS. I always take pictures of the grandchildren. I have albums for every grandchild. Everybody has it on the computers. I still have my albums and the whole thing. This is CBS always, the same thing they call it. Over and over again. I know I have the best customer when it comes to the pictures. Because everybody has the little things, you know, whatever you call them.
Digital or something.
The thing, the telephones, I don't know. My daughter is, I don't know, and they pay mountains of money for all this stuff. I have a little iPad I have, and I get my grandchildren, you know, Skype,
yeah.
Right, Skype, I can see the little children clapping hands. In fact, they know already a Spanish clapping hands, palmas, palmitas, higos y castañitas. Azúcar y turrón para mi niño son, that's Spanish. Then they know a German one, believe it or not. Yeah, something about a mouse. Kommt ein Mäuschen, kriegt ein Häuschen, was zu suchen, ist immer ein Kuchen. Something about a mouse. And in German, the little ones, I'm talking about 3 years old ones.
Where do they live?
One lives in Jersey with a boy and a girl. The other one lives in Weston, and next to Washington someplace. They're both Reston, something like that. I forgot.
Reston, Virginia.
Yeah, next to Washington, and because that was my Marnie, my granddaughter, my son's daughter, was very smart. She was all kind of colleges. The colleges wanted her, and she did end up with a PhD, and that's mine. The PhD also, a doctor. She got in her now her name Khan. You know, she was a Khan before. Now she was married. She was younger. And when they called her Dr. Khan, you have to see the two of her. She was so proud. She's very good job, very good salary with all the things she has. And there's her husband also computers, something with the government now. He's close to Washington. That's another thing. So they both are very well. 2 boys, little boys. 3 boys, 3 great-grandchildren boys were born after my husband died, and all of them is my husband's initial, the name.
Mm.
Elijah, Ezra, and Elan. Yeah, their second name. So, see, we have a very good life. It's nothing to, but like you said, no, I don't speak too much. I talk, you know, I asked Rose Gatens from FAU, Holocaust Outreach Center, and I told her, after my husband died, I told her, you know, anytime you need a speaker against, you know, that I was churches and stuff like that, I come. First I didn't, you know, wasn't that good. But then I spoke a few times. I spoke actually in a JCC once only. I spoke my Linus project are women who sit down and crochet blankets for poor children, for children, abused children, handicapped children, children with that cancer. We made in 5 years, we made over 25,000 blankets.
Mm.
So that's what I do now. I sit and crochet in my rocking chair.
Mm.
I crochet quilt. I love to quilt because I'm very American. I thought the old quilts, only the old quilts I like to make, because the thought of taking pieces of material and making a hole, I thought it was the greatest. So by hand, no machine. I have a machine, I know how to. I just do sewing and couldn't afford dresses for the children. Wanted more dresses. For $1 I could get a, you know, made a dress, you know, with some smoking and, you know, embroidering and stuff like that. But that's because I didn't go to work. So yeah, I could do all that stuff.
When Hitler made the pact with Franco and
Yeah.
Mussolini,
Yeah.
and you were growing up, did you ever see a moment in which Jews in Spain or maybe Italy, wherever you were in those two countries, did you ever see a roundup of Italian or Spanish Jews?
I know, I didn't see it, but we had somebody who ate in our house in Italy who was already in an internment camp down South Italy, and they wrote even a letter to us telling us that they're fine, they're, you know, but they didn't know they were going to be sent in Germany, that I know. Now, Franco was very smart. He sent a few to Germany. He sent like, I don't know how many soldiers, the Division Azul, this blue division. He sent them, and my husband saw them. They put down their guns. They're not going to fight the Spanish. What am I going to fight for Germany? They wouldn't fight. So they put them all in concentration camps. And it's I don't know if they got killed, but it was a war, whatever you call them.
Prisoners of war.
POW, yeah,
Yeah.
right, poor thing. But my husband said his husband coming in, singing a Spanish songs, they would not fight. They put the things out. So actually, I don't think Spain were fighting thing. They just, Franco was, actually it wasn't too bad. Because I have Spanish friends where when he came, a widow with 5 children, he gave them housing and help and food and everything they needed. He built, hospitals. He did all kind of good things too. But other things, you were in jail. In Spain, you go to jail, they don't feed you. The family comes to bring you food. That time, I don't know. You know. And in Spain, everybody is a Franco anyway. In Spain, everybody, they said the tickets in Madrid itself you don't pay. The Guardia Civil outside of Madrid, that you'll have to pay because you'll get arrested. In Spain, you don't come, they throw the ticket away. They're too lazy. That's Spanish Spain. They like to have their dinners, then they go back to work or to school, then they go at 5 o'clock for walking to the bars, to drink, to have a little tapas, and then they go home for a light dinner, then they go to work again, and they go to sleep. They sleep late and they get up late. That was the life of Spanish, And wait a minute, Holy Week, even in Madrid, no movies, no nothing. All the churches, you went to 9 churches, right? When you pray to the whatever, what is forgot the name already. But anyway, I went to 9 or 7. I don't know if it's 7 or 9. I forgot. But anyway, you have to go to them and pray in every. Jesus with the crucifixion and the whole thing, right? And so it was a very Catholic country. And then actually, that Saturday, everybody was dancing and this and that, and all the jaleo, and all the nice stuff. So, I liked all that actually. I just to go always with my friends. Spain, you go with arm in arm, and you go walking with the girls. You go to church. I still have my black veil. Because you have to cover yourself, right? And by the way, nobody is supposed to have short thing. Everything now is, everything had to be long, everything to go to a church that time again. I don't know now. So anyway, that's it.
Have you been to Israel?
Once.
And how was it?
Very nice. I was once, actually, when my daughter, which is 57 now, she was 19. When she was 19, she was 1 year in college, and she was in trouble. The wrong crowd and stuff like that, a little drugs probably, what did I know? So where did you send her? You go to a rabbi, or you go to a priest, actually, but we went to a rabbi. Send her to Israel. Everybody who does something wrong, you send to Israel. Right? Send her to Israel. She come home. She, not only that, she found, unfortunately, her first husband wasn't so good. But anyway, she found a young man, and he came back thanking us. She was fine. She's going to finish college. She's going to do this. She's going to do that. She got married. She had 2 daughters. She got divorced. She had another husband who is now from Australia. Another very nice man, too, yeah. He's older already, but he's very nice. And I cannot understand too much what he speaks, but he's he has that accent. He's very nice. So Susie is fine. Susie is 57 now. My son I have a son 62. and I have a daughter 65. I was 20 when I had my first child. 23 my second, 27, 26 my third, so I was young. That's what I wanted. I wanted to have 6 children. My husband said it was enough. But anyway, but anyway, they were very good children. No really little problems with the schools and this, a little bit, but not, bad stuff. We straighten them out. It's the age where they don't know what they want anyway. In colleges, forget it. I went to visit my son in college, and it was I think it was co-ed or something. And that girl comes out with a little nightgown or something short, and my son turns around, my parents are here, get into that room. My parents are here, they knew me.
But did
That was
you?
my education.
But did you go to Israel?
Yes, I went to, I took my daughter, I forget. Yeah, I went to visit her. That's why we went to Israel. I went to visit her, and we went to Eilat. She was in Eilat for schooling. We went to Jerusalem, naturally. Actually, we saw the Christian part too. We took a tour, which they took her to a Jewish part and the Christian part.
Yeah.
And they said that the Via Dolorosa,
Yeah.
it's not really where Jesus was walking. That's like 10 things in the bottom, 10 layers,
under.
because, the only thing my husband actually went to the great sepulchre.
Yeah,
Yeah, they went down, but it's when my I don't want the elevator, so I'm going to go down there. I died right there. I thought it was too close, then I couldn't go. But we went to that big church with the Greeks, and actually, also, I went to a gift shop, and they had a Christian gift shop, and they had a lot of wooden crosses, and they say that was from Jesus' cross. Oh, come on. 50,000 crosses there. So I had to buy a couple of them to bring to the same Italian people who had the roses.
Well, they say that this wood touched one that did touch the cross. Like a third degree or something relic.
I know the things, But anyway, I did. We did see the Christian, and we saw the Jewish,
Did you get to go to the wall?
Bethlehem. What?
Did you get to go to the wall?
Oh, sure, to the wall, yeah. But as a woman that time, you were more on the right side. They didn't like women at that time. They are very into not women. Then the religious sects with where they overdo it sometimes with religion, but that's what they believe.
The women now the women have a third of the wall. Yeah.
Yes, they can go now, right?
Yeah. And
But I did put a little piece of paper in there, like the Pope actually, talking about the Pope.
Yeah.
Pope, not 12, what was the other
John
one who
Paul
died?
II. John Paul II.
Yeah. John Paul II, right?
Yes.
See? This one, what it says. It gives you the whole story here.
Mhm.
Oh, it's a matter of fact, I really, if you want to, but this is a book that tells you all about pictures, about what the church did, and how it works, and she's very good. At least I learned something out with this one. So if you are interested, you can see the book. And
Okay.
as I said, it's not that I'm selling anything. I don't. This is all volunteer work. I don't want any money and any thank you and any nothing. I love to say it because I think the more you speak and people know what happened, especially children, if you want, children with the Holocaust and stuff, maybe they get along better. You know what a kindergarten teacher told me, because a kindergarten teacher survivors to go to speak to children, small children, because there are horrible things and stuff. But I said, one teacher said, the way I say to the children to get along together, I bring M&Ms, all the colors. Now you like M&Ms, right? Every color. So why don't you like, black, Chinese, this, and this is a part of a Holocaust learning for the teachers with M&Ms, which I thought was very smart.
Mhm.
I learned a lot from teachers. I go a lot to. But no, that's all. And once more, and once Linus again, my private ladies wanted to know my story. They left hysterical with all my, with the thundering and stuff. I thought that was the greatest.
Mhm.
Were you able to travel to Auschwitz?
No. My husband never wanted to go. The March of the Living, they go there. A lot of Jewish children and with teachers and Holocaust survivors. But my husband never really wanted to go back there. He wasn't there. And he did go when we went back to Germany to that commencement exercise. He did took students to Dachau.
Mm.
Yeah, he took them, well, that was very close to Berlin. And he went to libraries to talk to people, and he went to a lot of schools, actually, in Germany itself. He went and told them what they did, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But all the teachers were not even born there. They were wonderful people. They took him, they fed us, they took us all over the place, and all in German, but English too, and they spoke English. I was a nice teacher who still, when he died, he still writes me emails. He had a Chinese couple teachers who were teaching German in Japan, right? And we went for that time was the time of white asparagus time. Oh, so good, the asparagus soup out of this world. But anyway, we went to for dinner in this teacher's house. We were invited, and the wife of this teacher, her name, she was a painter. But those painters who throw paint into the wall and that's all, that kind of thing. Her living room had a ladder, had plastic covers, and that was a living room, And then they had another table, long table, and the other room where was full of television and computers and stuff from him, guitars, whatever it was. They made a tablecloth and we ate there. And the Chinese, what's so good about the Chinese people, they spoke German. And they came in, and the first thing they did, they took off their shoes. Now, with all that mess in there, you don't have to take your shoes off. They took off their shoes and put slippers, and they come in. And they bow, and they told me I had a few words in Chinese, but who remembers Chinese? It was very interesting to meet different people. That's what I like. I like people. You sit in cafes and you can talk to strangers, right? My husband, I went shopping in the big department store. My husband was waiting outside on a bench, and he went German, and he started to speak and tell me his story.
Wow.
You keep on telling people.
I would like to have you speak in Spanish to a group.
Yeah, I have to think about it. I probably could, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, well, I think about it. See, I don't practice. I speak the language, but I don't practice that much. I don't speak Spanish at all, actually. A little bit with my one daughter, when I don't want to know, nobody should understand. Actually, I have 3 or 4 languages, between French, Spanish, and English, and German. When I look around, who cannot understand? Sometimes you want to say something, people should know. It's not bad things, but...
But we could maybe even film you in Spanish and have that for.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Muchas gracias, señora. Encantada.
Your Spanish is great.
She's Spanish? I don't know.
She's
She was
a Spanish
smiling. She looks
speaker.
Spanish.
She's a Spanish speaker.
¿Habla español o no?
Of course.
Sí, claro. Ya sabía con esa cara. His face. With that face. They speak Spanish. Sure.
Maybe to one of your classes.
It's very, very good, It's really, if you can get, I don't know if you can get the address or the email there. I would have been giving you guys the book, but the only thing it's written for my husband, and I still want to keep it. Plus, I like to read it myself in case I have to find, if I forget about church stuff. Church stuff.
It's funny.
You know that I thought that priests only wear the long robes like.
Uh-huh.
In Spain I didn't know they had pants. I really didn't know. When I went to America in the ship, there was the color they had and stuff like that. And he had pants, a regular suit. I said, that's not a priest. That my was probably. I thought, well, the priest. We went once to the middle of Madrid. There's an old church right in the middle of Madrid, and they have a priest there who was very old-fashioned. we went in with my friend Aurora, and we were talking to him, and he was complaining. First of all, his robe was all sewed up. It was old already. Then he was complaining that, look, you know, the way you do confession. Now you can sit in a chair and the priest and talk to you. I said, what kind of confession? And then he looked in a bus with a priest with slacks and that. He's a tourist. He was, you know, I think they put him in the middle of Madrid there because the church was always empty probably because he was a troublemaker. But he couldn't, he was old-fashioned, you know, Roman Catholic, old-fashioned, you know. As a matter of fact, I still have an Italian friend in Long Island who goes to a Roman Catholic service. He would not go to the music and I don't know whatever they have now. You know, actually, I thought when they were in the church, I went here and it was English. I thought it was only Latin. That time was only Latin, you know, stuff like that. So it changes. But I guess they want to bring younger people, and they have to cater to younger people to come to church, maybe. You know.
I believe that's part of it.
Any more questions? So I have enough. Monsieur?
I have a million questions.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, but I.
No.
You have a question, right? Good question.
She wanted to know about the book. Where to get the book.
Where did they get the book?
This book?
Yeah. I was sent,
Paul's
it
Press.
was sent to my husband. I don't even remember. Because my husband must have written to some church or something because he went to a church here in Florida too. And because it's, you know, its name is up there. And if you open up the set to Ernest and Anna, you know, Sister Margherita, Marchione. Excuse me, so it was Italian. Marchione?
Marchione.
No, Marchione, Marchione. So it's very good. If you looked at it, I think it's good. I don't know too much, you know. If you're teaching, you know. I'm not a teacher, definitely not. So what is the question? Beside the book. Se ha olvidado.
No, I was wondering about if you, you know, if you had any, I know you said you didn't want to talk about politics. I was wondering if you had any advice for us today about what's going on with Syria and all that.
Not too much. I'm not too much in politics. I actually get a lot of from the Democrats because I'm a Democrat. I was a Democrat. Did I know when they told me you should be a Democrat? But anyway, I don't know if it's so good. Finally, little by little, I start, you know, I found out the voting. I always vote. Are you kidding? I am a big American. But I really don't, I get the emails a lot of Democrats, but they always want money. Give money here and money there and money there, so, you know. You know, I send money to, I give blankets to children, to veterans, because we are here only because of the American veterans, and my husband always said in the schools, ask your grandparents the story. Your grandparents have the story of World War II. You know, tell them, ask them their story. Tell them, go home and tell them the story. So, because it's true, they, you know, they saw the camps and they saw the wars and they died. They died for us, to keep us alive. They came over there to, you know, the cemetery in France is full of crosses, a couple of stars. No, but really, you know that my daughter, when she was, or lived in a house in Long Island, she was, I don't know, 10 years old already, 9 years old, and she had always had pets, and they died. So she had a cemetery in the back of the, you know, the yard. She always made a cemetery. She always put a cross, and every you know little. And she taught the cemeteries are crosses. They don't have stars, so she put. she went to Hebrew school and everything, but she put a cross in the cemetery, with a Christian cemetery in the back of the yard, for the little turtles and all. That time my children prayed at home. I was somebody, actually maybe a little too much, that I didn't send them to camp in the summer. They all winter there in school. They're not with me. I'm going to send them away in the summer too. I was home anyway. So I went to beaches with them, I went this with that, so I was a little, you know, I was happy when we were all together. Maybe again a little afraid something should happen to them, you know. Maybe it's a little mentally. I talk to myself.
And what state was that?
That's Long Island, New York.
Long Island.
Bellport, all the way out, close to the Hamptons, about 60 miles from New York. We spent 30 years there. Well, after we were in the Bronx for 5 years and we saw an advertisement, houses, 5,999, $5,999. You could buy a house for $5,000. We went in an apartment, it cost us $37.50 a month. It was a 5 flights up, we had to walk. 2 children, and then a friend bought us a little dog because she knew we were born, and the dog didn't even want to climb the stairs. So, that was, children up and down and stuff like that. But anyway, I keep on forgetting. I talk too much.
You're going to tell us about Long Island.
Yeah, Long Island was
the house for
very. Actually,
$5,000.
my husband also, which I didn't know, was knew how to sail. So he always liked sailboats, and we had a sailboat, and we went sailing every Sunday, up to the, to the Fire Island, in the bay, not in the ocean. In the ocean, I go with the Queen Mary. That's it. And not, it was at 27, but it was very nice. I was second mate, and I had to do all work. He was with his captain. He said, jib up, jib down, this and that, and I was running like crazy. I was the first mate. We had even, I think, first mate. But it was very nice. We had the Times magazine, and on Sunday I had food because we had a little kitchen. And usually the children were teenagers and they wanted to go with their friends. They really didn't want to go sailing and sitting in a boat for nothing. So we went, we both along went sailing, and we had lunch. We were reading the newspaper. We stopped someplace. Someplace the weather was a little rough. And my husband said, throw the anchor out. I took the anchor, threw it, the anchor wasn't tied up. Adios, muchacho. then he lost his wedding ring.
Oh.
I don't know, he lost it. No, we found it. And we were in, water like this mug inside. I was down looking, he was down looking, and both people are very polite. Can we help you? Can we help you? And finally my husband said, no, she likes to do that. But then I look, and all of a sudden I read. The ring was there, so we found that. You have a lot of stories with the boats too. People are very nice. Another story, Bellport, Long Island, they had the Brookhaven lab, was scientists with atomic bomb and stuff from all over the world came to study whatever. So in Bellport itself, in the village, there was a lot of people from all over the world, plenty of accents. My husband said smoking a pipe. This pipe smokers, forget it. Take 2 years just with it. Smokers. So Fridays, every Friday in the summer, we had concert in the bay, right? You went down to the bay, and you listen, I got a blanket, you listen to concert. My husband was all dressed up with a tie. For me, he was a salesman. Went to see the boat, it was tied up and stuff like that, fell into the water.
Oh.
By climbing to the boat, he fell in there. So he was fixing something, he was on the water, and this guy from the lab, a scientist, came with his pipe. Good evening, sir. Can I help you? And I said, no, I'm fine. He said, are you from the lab? Because my husband had an accent too. Anybody with an accent is from the lab, a scientist. And my husband said, no. And all of a sudden, he was talking together. My husband was in the water. Nobody gave him a hand. So he came back to me finally. He told me this story. Always I see a guy full of weeds and full of mud and stuff like that. What happened to you? They go home. But it was a nice life. We had the 4th of July, the parade with the firemen who couldn't, were too fat, were all volunteers, and they couldn't, their uniforms were too tight, the Girl Scouts, and I went to it was fine, and then we had the art and the lane, every artist had pictures, you bought beautiful, and then we had Grucci fireworks. You never heard of they come here sometimes. Actually, they lived right in the village where we were. Grucci fireworks, Italian family, who had the whole fireworks things. They went to Europe, they went to go Macy's parades, Macy's fireworks and stuff like that. A big business, yeah.
Mhm.
But anyway, so that was a nice life of mine. It was nice, yeah. Went to school, I was a class mother, I was brought cakes, fundraising, all kind of things.
Did,
Everything what everybody does.
did any of your aunts or uncles or cousins
I-
affected and were taken
I never
in?
met anybody in my family.
Okay.
I never actually met, my mother, I guess, was from Breslau, and she said she was, her parents died before she was, when she was 9 years old or something, and she was raised by a grandmother. And I guess she was a nurse, she came to Berlin and she met my father, and I guess she married him, but she said she had 8 sisters, but nobody ever wrote and said anything to me about them. And it wasn't that important to me that time. And my father's side, I have one picture of his mother in an album, which I guess